An intersex is a person born with both male and female characteristics that may include genitalia, hormones, chromosomes, and reproductive organs with a sexual anatomy not fitting the boxes of either male or female.
There are situations where babies are born and then they seem to be having both sexual organs, that is belonging to the females as well as to the males. It is therefore very difficult to assign them to a particular sex or gender, and therefore this group of people, we refer to them as intersex persons.
Ryan Mwirori is just one of the many intersex persons in the country who can freely talk about the condition. He tells us that his mother, more than 30 years ago, could not tell whether her child at birth was a boy or a girl.
With that confusion, my mom decided to take me as a girl and registered and gave me the name after her beloved mother, that is Ruth Wangoi. But as I was growing, my body was growing to the opposite side.
Unlike other children who enjoy their childhood without questions and inquisitive eyes, he tells us that he misses nothing about his childhood days, which he says were full of abuse and humiliation.
I never ever miss anything in my childhood or in my teenage. Some young people or young men managed to undress me because they wanted to check. Now when I go to the toilet, everyone wants to know whether I squat or I stand. And they want to see what other children are saying they saw in me.
He also recalls several instances when he was accused of impersonation and even viewed as a curse.
There was even an incident whereby an elderly man accused me badly. I remember him telling me I'm supposed to be stoned to death because I'm the reason why the area was facing that road. So I remember when I was thoroughly beaten in a bank for the case of being impersonation. I also remember when I was beaten because I went to ladies' washroom and I met a woman who started screaming, there is a man hiding in the female's toilet, maybe want to rape me or something.
Following his painful experience that saw him attempt to take his life severally, he stands tall to tell the story of how people like him end up in broken families.
By the time I never knew myself that I could stand with my feet, I needed people to be there for me. Who are these people? It was my parent. And my parent could not stay together because of me. Many intersex, over 80%, are raised by single parents. Not because they never wanted to have that family. And maybe there were those fights because they think it's your family, it's your cause, it's your side.
Eventually, in September this year, he managed to change his birth name from Ruth to Ryan. I was curious to know how his intersex status has affected his relationships.
If maybe you are talking to your partner, you are a girl or vice versa, what they start thinking is that the satisfaction part of it, having children, having that, what will my family say? Many girls, many women started being attracted to me. You also find many people coming to you, not because they really want you for who you are, but maybe because of their curiosity. So in that case, we have so many intersex.
It is not only until the 2019 Housing and Population Census by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics that the Kenyan government approved the introduction of the third sex marker for intersex persons.
And for 2019, for information, we had 1,524 intersex persons, which in my opinion are actually not the true numbers, because globally you are aware that between 0.5 to 0.7 of the entire population is intersex. So going by this kind of figures, it means in Kenya we have about 335,000 to 700,000 intersex persons.
And even now, not many understand who an intersex person is.
Chromosomes in a man and the chromosomes in a woman that are found in our genes are very distinct. For example, a normal man will be an XY, whereas a normal woman will be XX. If there is a variation in terms of the chromosomal issues, then the child tends to be born without a clear designated sex. The other thing that is also thought to contribute to this is hormonal changes.
This has seen intersex persons go through inhumane experiences, even though they are who they are, not by choice, but by birth.
So, wapewe nafasi zao na uamuzi wao wao wenyewe. Ile si laana. Mimi siwezi mlaumu.
For instance, if they are in a police station, they should be given a choice to choose the person who is going to do the body search.
Senior Counsel John Chigiti tells us that the Kenyan government, through the signing into law of the Children's Act 2022, it now recognizes the existence of intersex persons and their protection.
Even with hormonal correction, even with surgery, the success rate is not always 100%.
Now the Children Act has generated an offense such that if you do an organ change on an intersex person, you are going to get yourself in prison for up to 5 years, unless, of course, with situations where there is an urgent need or there's a crisis or an approved situation. It's amazing because the lawmakers have embraced a very nice mechanism of ensuring that these children are registered. How? They have told the registrar of births and deaths to come up with forms that will incorporate, embrace, accommodate the intersex persons.
Dr. Dennis Wamalwa, a commissioner at the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, who is also an intersex person, says the commission is currently focused on how best to ensure intersex persons get all their basic rights like any other Kenyan.
We're talking to the Ministry of Health to have the intersex persons be covered. You remember, you see, initially people used to think hormonal treatment was just kind of cosmetic. Personally, I've been on testosterone as a hormone since I was 9 years of age. When I started using the drug, it was very expensive. I mean, it was 70 shillings. Right now it's 2,500 plus. But I think through our lobbying and the fact that now intersex persons have been, identified, even by, through the constitution and through the laws, we're glad that we are declared, and CIC, our insurer, is now covering my, testosterone hormone, which is a big plus.
Every day, thousands of children are born. There are those who are born with complications, others healthy. There are those who are born intersex. This is not their choice. Before raising a finger, think about it. Robbie Omondi, K24 Health Beat.